Welcome back, everybody. Another great monologue here for you coming up. Hope your day is going well, wherever you might be watching this from. Maybe in the gym, maybe you're just getting your day started. You're on your way to work, on the way home. These insights are a great opportunity for us to hopefully bring some value to each other's life. That's all they are. It's my chance to talk to you. There's no sponsor for this show. It is just an opportunity for us to learn from one another. Hopefully you take some value from some of the insights of life that I've had, some of the mistakes that I have made. So hopefully you don't have to make them yourself and you can live a more fulfilling life immediately. So today's topic is one that I love. You know, how many men out there, and I'm going to talk specifically to men. Now, ladies, this will apply to you, but I can only really speak to the men. How many of you feel like, you know what, I don't know what my purpose is? How many of you felt like, boy, since you were a kid, someone said, well, what would you do if somebody gave you $100 million? And what would you do then? And go do that. And you thought to yourself, I don't even know what I would do. So it just doesn't feel like it. In fact, in my life, I've been that individual that at times has been jealous of people that feel so passionately about something from a young age that they devote their life to it. I didn't have that. And so as I've had to find my way in life at now 38 years old, there have surely been things that I have learned. And the one thing over the past 5 years is that if you want to live a fulfilling life, you've got to be moving towards your purpose, towards something that you were fashioned for. And right now, we have an epidemic in this country of men living life without a purpose. They don't have anything that they are moving towards right now. If you need any evidence of this, a Gallup poll recently found that 40% of people worldwide strongly agree that they have a clear sense of purpose. Sounds decent on the surface, but that means that 50% of the world is uncertain about the direction of their life. So first thing I would tell you is that you're not alone. In the United States, men account for 79% of suicides, with over 100 men taking their life every day. Why? Why do so many men resort to drugs? Why do they just want to forget about their life? Now listen, we can talk about outside forces, we can blame other people, situations, but that's not what we do here. What we want to do is we want to look at how do we make an immediate change in our life. And so someone out there right now, you're driving in a car and you feel like, hey man, I've lost purpose. I don't have a way. I feel like I'm just floating through life day in, day out. And there's this mediocrity that has creeped into what I'm doing. And I need to shift it immediately. So I'm going to tell you this. You need to live a purpose-driven life. You need to find something that is meaningful for you to pursue. And for many of you, you know what that is, but there are two things that hold you back, two fears. And I want you right now to be real with yourself if you've ever felt this way. Number one, you're not pursuing what's going to bring the most purpose to your life because you're afraid of failure. You're afraid of what individuals are going to say about you. Oftentimes, it's not the people that you would affect if you chose to go after what you know you should. It's not those people. Instead, it's the people that surround you. It's the colleagues you have right now. It's your coworkers. It's your friends and your family. And they are the ones that are holding you back from going after your dream, for going after what you know you were fashioned to do in this world. You know you are meant to do something great. You in your heart know you are fashioned to do more than what you are right now, but you haven't done it because of them. You're afraid of failure is what you're afraid of. You're afraid of what someone's going to say about you. You're afraid of how they might look at you. And so that's number one. But then number two, I want you to understand this. Many of you are afraid of the person you'll have to become in order to achieve that dream. Now, that might sound silly to you, but I want you to think about it. If you had to go after that dream, would you be able to go out and do the drinking that you're doing right now? If you had to go after your purpose in life, would you be able to hang out with the same people and do the same things? If you wanted to achieve that ultimate goal in your business, would you be able to keep doing things the same way that you are? No, you would have to become a different person. You'd have to give up instant pleasure, instant gratification for that delayed pleasure, for that delayed gratification down the road, for going after something that you know you should be. And what you're doing is you're holding back because you don't want to become that person because of the things that you would have to give up. And so I want you to think about that, and then I want you to think, man, he's right. I don't want to become that person. I don't know if I do. I don't know if I can. And so both of these go together, and what they begin to do is build anxiety in you. And then you push the thought off and you go through another day of mediocrity. And so I don't want you to do that. That's what I'm here today to stop. There are 3 things that you can do right now that will move you toward a more purpose-driven and meaningful life, and you can achieve them today. They don't cost you anything. They're not like you have to sign up for some program or I'm even going to make you offer you one. What I want you to do today is take these 3 steps. And if you right now do not have the meaning in your life that you want, these 3 things you can do in your car, in your kitchen, at the gym, instantly right now are going to move you towards a better life. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take action. I want you to do something that moves you closer to that dream. Now I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to go really minute here. I'm going to go real granular for you. If you want to write a book, write 1 sentence. And I've said this before on the show. That might sound silly. It might sound like, oh man, you're just being patronizing, Patrick. No, I'm not. Write 1 sentence. If you want to go run a marathon, go walk 100 yards. It's better than just sitting at your desk. Go walk around the building where you work. Maybe just eat something healthier or skip 1 meal. If you want to be a better father, why don't you just have a conversation, ask how your kid's day went? Well, man, that just sounds like I can do more than that. Maybe, but you haven't. And so you have to get real with yourself, and by taking action, the smallest step towards your goal is better than what you are doing currently right now. It's not trivial. It's not at all. It's what you can bear right now. And here's the beautiful part about it. I promise you, you can actually bear more than what you think. That 1 sentence might turn into a paragraph. That question might turn into a conversation. That walk 100 yards might turn into a quarter mile. You can do more than what you believe that you can. And that's the wonderful and most powerful thing that I can tell you. But even if you don't, you're 1 step closer to where you should be. And then the next day, you go out and you take 1 more step. You write 1 more sentence. You keep on going after that goal that you're fashioned to do. You have to do 1 more. Ed Milet talks about it in his book, The Power of 1 More, about talking to his father, who was an alcoholic. And when his father had given up drinking, he asked, "Hey, Dad, are you gonna stop drinking for real this time? I know that you've tried other times. Are you sure that you're gonna be able to stop drinking now?" And Ed Milet's father said, "I don't know, but I know I'm gonna stop drinking today. 1 more day, 1 day at a time. Chip away towards that purpose that you know you're meant to do. You do not have to become an author overnight if you want to write a book. You don't have to become a triathlon athlete. Heck, you don't even have to be the best manager. You don't have to be the best father, but you have to have a conversation and start somewhere. So why not take action today? So when you decide that you're going to move towards something, there's going to be responsibility that you have. It's going to come from 2 places, the outside world and within yourself. And you know what? There's no one to govern what you choose to do. There's not going to be police who come into your mind to say, well, you didn't walk the 100 yards today like you said you were going to. There's not going to be somebody who arrests you, and there won't be a penalty from them, but there will be guilt. And that's when you know you haven't done something that is worth doing. So do it. Take a chance on yourself. Bet on you. And then, like I said, you're going to have responsibility that comes from the outside world. People might look at you differently as you start to go towards that goal. People might not understand you, and there's a responsibility that comes with that. People may say, hey, you know what? This guy is this now. Look at him. He's training for a marathon. That's who he is. Well, there's a responsibility that comes with that, because now you're that person. Okay. You feel a little bit of that responsibility. Embrace that responsibility. Some people just don't want it. They shy away from it. I don't want to be the center of attention. What do you not want more? Do you want to live with regret in 40 years? Do you want to live with regret 2 years from now? And you look back and say, man, if I just would have taken that first step, if I would have just embraced the responsibility of doing it, where could I be right now? Imagine that for 1 moment, if you embrace that responsibility. And number 3, I need you to commit. And committing is not just you telling me or you telling yourself, I'm going to do something. It is setting standards in place that are going to move you every day towards that goal. And I want to tell you this, you don't need a bunch of standards. You need one good one that you need to start with. Tell you, if you want to be more productive in your day, not a very good one, but let's just say that's what you wanted to do. Well, I suggest you get up earlier. You're probably sleeping in too much. If you want to be healthier, what I would tell you to do is, why don't you eat 1 whole meal a day instead of, all the fast food? Why don't you get 8 hours of sleep? Why don't you do one thing that you set a standard to that is measurable, okay? Measurable, I want to say that enough. And then you hold yourself to that standard. Yes, you're starting with 1. And you know what? It may seem trivial like we talked about, but What if that becomes 2 or 3 standards that work you towards that goal and that purpose? Imagine where you could be in 3 to 5 years. We often overestimate what we can do in a day, and we underestimate what we can do in a year. 1 year from now, where would you be if you set one standard in place right now and began chipping away and moving towards that purpose? Last thing I'm going to leave you with is this. Some of you out there feel like you're too old. You feel like, you know what? In my 20s, Pat, I would have agreed with you. This would have gotten me fired up. But right now, you know what, man? I've done this for too long. So I want to leave you with 3 people who would disagree with you. I want to leave you with 3 people who did some amazing things later in their life. And I want you to know that regardless of the place that you're at, you have an opportunity to make a shift today towards the purpose that which you were put here to do. And that's this. Ray Kroc was 52 years old when he transformed McDonald's into an empire. Guy wasn't even in his 40s. He was in his early 50s. Ted Turner, TBS. People know him from that if you're a Braves fan, but was 42 when he launched CNN, the world's first 24-hour news network. Samuel L. Jackson landed his first breakthrough role in Pulp Fiction at the age of 46. I have people that are in their 70s. I think the great example of that is Colonel Sanders with KFC. I want to say the guy was in his 70s when he finally cracked the code for the recipe, and now how many thousands or hundreds of thousands of those are across the world. And so wherever you are right now in your life, you're in a chapter. And regardless if you're in that 13th chapter, you're in the second one right now, you have an opportunity to make a shift today towards a more purpose-driven life by setting a standard in place, by taking action, by embracing responsibility. And if you can do those 3 things right there, I'm telling you today, 24 hours from now, and surely 1 year from now, you're going to be living a more meaningful life for yourself. Now, I'll tell you what, if you got some value out of this one right here, make sure you go ahead and hit like, subscribe to our channel. I come out with these monologues at least once a week, try to bring some value over to your life, and hopefully learn from one another. Have a great day ahead, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks so much.